Do the oil change on the C8, and the first thing you want to do is you want to jack up the car, right? So for us, we actually have these adapters, these jacking points, right? So you jack it up here. You could put your jack stand right here. There's a little seam of the frame, so that way you don't bend control arms. Everything's aluminum, so your best bet is to put the jack stands right there. And then now we're gonna remove the covers off this one, and I believe it's this one. I believe it's this and this tray, and then some of the front ones to pull this metal pan out. So now that we've removed all the bolts, we can go ahead and pull this down and pull it out, and it just slides right out like so. Let's see. We have the oil filter. Oh, this is the DCT. So the DCT transmission filter is this one. So we'll go ahead and mark it just so we make sure that we line this back up properly. And then here's the oil filter. There doesn't seem to be any leaks. Alright, so we're gonna do the DCT transmission filter first. So you should need a 8mm socket, an extension, ratchet, oil pan. So we have our filter, O-ring, we get new bolts, and another O-ring. And the bolts come with thread locker. Actually, I'll use that again. This. Alright. So you can see it's right here. We're gonna go ahead and mark it. So remember where it went. And then the bolts are E8s. So it's the reverse torque. There it goes. So break it by hand, then loosen it. Two, three, and four. And these bolts are one-time use, so you do get 4 brand new bolts with thread locker. You don't gotta reuse those. And you pretty much just have to twist and there it goes. Pretty much what I found is you have to turn it and then you just like wiggle back and forth like so. Okay, it's coming. There it goes. Alright, so that's where one of the O-rings goes, is here. So you can see where we painted. We painted over to make sure we line it back up. Go ahead and clean that up. And then we'll use a pick to pull that out. So go ahead and grab. There it goes. And there's your filter. Right. So this O-ring goes facing up. This piece goes down. So the open end up, the closed end down. We'll just clean all that up. DCT filter, open end facing up, and then the closed end down. Alright, we have 4 new bolts with thread locker. We have the new O-ring for the filter cover. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean that up. There it goes. Install the new, like so. Actually, go ahead and clean this up a little. For these bolts on the DCT filter cover, they're supposed to be at 53 to 54 inch-pounds. So we're gonna do 53.5 inch-pounds. We'll just do it right in the middle. So we'll install this first, face up. We'll put the cover, the 4 bolts, snug them down, and then torque to 53.5 inch-pound. The opening goes face up. closed and face down. So once we put it in, there it goes. You just push it in and that's it. For us, we marked the cover, right? If you didn't mark the cover, you could also go based off this COV0196R, or the VIN number looking thing. The part number basically should be facing the rear of the car. And there it goes. Now we put the bolts in. Oh, there goes one. Just has to be lined up properly for the bolts to seat. And with aluminum, you always want to thread on by hand at first. You don't want to cross thread the aluminum. Where'd the other one go? Here it is. Make sure it's clean. There it goes. Let's go ahead and snug them down. Alright, and now let's go ahead and torque this. We said 53.5 inch-pounds, so it's 53 to. Alright, now since we have the DCT filter that we replaced, we torqued the bolts to spec on the cover. Okay, so our oil filter's here, and our drain plug is right here. So you can see it's a 15mm with an inside Torx. There it goes. That you have your oil drain. Let's go ahead and snug down. So right? 25 Newman meters. So you go ahead and snug down the drain plug. Go ahead and snug it down. And it goes to 25. That's it. 25 Newman meters. Alright, we're at the last step, which oh, there it goes. It's on super tight. And that's it. We go ahead and install the new one, which should be the same because we got the original GM, so it should be AC Delco. Oil filter, so it is AC Delco GM genuine. Make sure you lube this up before you put it in there so it won't seize up. And after that, we'll go ahead and put this oil in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of oil on here. Should be enough. Let's go ahead and snug this back up. There it goes. That's it. That's as tight as it wants. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead and clean up any excess oil. Go ahead and clean this. This looks a little dirty. Yeah, this definitely looks a little dirty, so I'll go ahead and clean this up. Clean all this excess oil. There it goes. So just clean up any excess oil, and then we're good. Now we can go ahead and mount the splash guards back on, and we'll be done. Well, actually we still have to fill the oil, but now we gotta fill it up. Oil fill cap. Let's put our adapter in here. There it goes. Put that on there. It should just slide in like so. And we have that 0W40 Dexos SuperCar oil. It takes 7.5 quarts, so you're gonna have to buy 8 quarts. That way you can use 7.5. We already put the oil cap back on, filled it to spec, so we're pretty much done here. Now we have two options when it comes to the oil reset. We can Alright, so obviously we go through the options, but you hold the push to start button. You don't put your foot on the brake, you just hold it for about 10 or 15 seconds. You'll be able to go through the maintenance. Obviously we don't want to do transmission fluid because we haven't, but reset oil, so we'll click on that. If we want to do yes, we obviously select yes. Now it's back to 100% transmission fluid. We're at 87. But that DCT transmission filter, you're supposed to do it like every 3,000 miles. So just take that into account. You know, we're not talking about the transmission fluid, like the flush with the filter that goes in the transmission. We're talking about the DCT filter that goes outside of the transmission. And that's pretty much it. Then you go ahead and give it a start. Now the other way we could have done it is we could have gone through the scanner, right? If you have a scanner, we could have done it that route. So we would have put this into the OBD, which is right here, like so. Turns on, or start linking it. So there it goes. So obviously once we're in here, we would click on the ECM, we'd go into the ECM, we would go to special functions, reset functions, and there is oil life reset, right? Which we've already done so. So it says 99%, right? So we don't need to do it because it's already been reset. And that's it, guys. Then obviously we can see our temperature, we're at 111, right? And then as far as oil pressure, 34 pounds. So everything looks good, and that's pretty much how you do your oil change.